Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever the hell you're located. This is Alex Denton. I'm with Underground Noise Webzine. This is Webisode number 31. Please hit that subscribe button, like it, share it. Follow me on facebook.com/undergroundnoise420. I'm here tonight with the guitarist from Internal Bleeding, Chris Pervelis. Welcome, Chris. How you doing, dude?
Good, brother. How are you? How's things?
Fantastic, thank you.
Good.
First question I would like to ask you, Chris, who are your influences musically?
My biggest musical influence is by far Black Sabbath, particularly the first, I would say the first four albums, like Volume 4, Master of Reality, stuff like that. That is pretty much my biggest influence as far as a guitar player. And then, with the band, it's, a lot of the classic death metal bands, of course. There's actually a lot of classic rock that we're influenced by, a lot of old hardcore, a lot of Agnostic Front and Black Flag and stuff like that. That's very influential to me too. So it's a pretty round, and then there's some jazz in there too, because I love jazz. So that definitely influences me. I don't know how much of it shows up in the band. Some of it does, in some of my soloing, the jazz shows up, but I think that's the scope of my influences.
That's very cool. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you're probably the only original member left in Internal Bleeding, right?
Yes, I am. The last original member, Billy, died in 2017. So that just leaves me to carry on the flag. So, yeah, when you've been around forever, unfortunately, you get a revolving door. People lose their drive to continue the music. People realize that, well, wait a minute, we're not making money, and they leave the band. And creative differences. You try to keep that going over almost 30 years now. So you're going to have lineup changes. It's just the way it goes. People mature out of it too. People say, oh, I guess I got to go to college now. And I guess I got to get a job now or whatever, and, that has an effect on it, so yeah, that leaves me.
I can definitely dig that.
Still going and still pushing the band forward and, plan to do it as long as I still like it, or as long as my body allows me to do it and allows me to tour and play guitar at a proficient level and things like that. So hopefully there'll be more years. Got a pretty solid lineup that's been together for a little while now. So I'm hoping it sticks at least until the band winds down, whenever that is.
You guys been around for 31 years.
Just about, yeah, 1991. So yeah, that's 30. Oh geez, yeah. It's a long time.
It is a long time. I can remember when you guys came out with that compilation, Alien Breed.
Oh yeah, that was 1999, 2000, I think that came out.
Yeah, it's got a bunch of good songs on it, including Alien Breed, which is one of my personal favorites.
Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. That's a pretty obscure song. Not a lot of people know that song because it only appeared on Alien Breed.
Yep. I guess it was one of those previously unreleased songs.
No, that was actually, so that whole CD is all our old demos. And Alien Breed was actually a new song we had recorded to add to that compilation. So at the time in the year 2000, it was a new song.
Okay.
So yeah.
That helps with the confusion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the other stuff was like, I think if I remember correctly, our first three demos, which is like 91, 92, and 94, or something like that.
Those were some interesting years for sure.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, back then I was listening to Blood World by Mortification because I was jamming on Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah. Wow. Good times, man.
Yeah, I still listen to a lot of that stuff,
Oh yeah, me too. I love old school stuff. I love new school stuff. I'm not a big fan of tech. That's not my thing, but I appreciate it, So I, keep my ears open for new stuff all the time. Keeps you young.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, again, you guys coined the term slam.
Correct. As applied to death metal. I mean, they were using it in the punk rock scene for, when I was growing up in the early 80s. In the early 80s, I was very into hardcore and punk rock, Dead Kennedys and Black Flag and Circle Jerks and Suicidal Tendencies and all that stuff. And it was called slam dancing, and I think it was I can't remember exact year it was that we decided to start using slam to describe our sound. We knew we had a different sound. We knew that we were eschewing like lots of blast. We weren't doing blast beats. We weren't being technical. We were more rhythm oriented band. We had a lot more like hip hop influences on our music and things like that. We knew it was different, and we started calling it like mosh music at first. And then we had a big argument about the word mosh because we all hated Anthrax and they used the word mosh. And our drummer Billy was like, "We're slam, that's what we are." And so we changed I think we used to call ourselves Barbaric Moshing Death Vomit or something like that. And then we changed it to Total Fucking Slam because that described our music a lot better. And so a whole subgenre of music got coined, which is pretty cool.
That is cool. Not many bands get that opportunity these days.
No. It's a lot harder. It's a lot harder these days to be, back in the early 90s, things were like fresh and bands all had their own distinct, most bands had their own distinct sound. But as time moved on, production values all started becoming the same, and bands, instead of copying bands from the 80s, started copying bands from the 90s. So it started losing a little bit of creativity and inventiveness. So some people think it might have gotten stale. I don't think it is, but there is a lot of copying going on, I mean, we're copying stuff. We copied stuff back then too. We copied the stuff that we liked, not copied it, but we're influenced by it. So certainly.
My next question for you, Chris, would be, who came up with the band name? How did you come up with the band name? And did you have any names prior?
Yes. So I came up with the band name, and it was literally, I just wrote a list of, I'll never forget it. I was in my father. So my father was a photography nut. So, and I was living at my parents' house at the time. I had just graduated college and was looking for a job, and I was living at my parents' house, and I was down in my dad's dark room smoking a cigarette. And I wrote this long list of names that I thought sounded cool, and this is before I was actually had the band together. This is like when me and this guy, I think his name was Dave. I can't even remember his name. This is so long ago. Me and Dave had played guitar together and showed each other a couple of riffs, and we're like, let's start a band, And this was my writing exercise to come up with the name. And Internal Bleeding had been on the list, and I was like, well, if your band's really heavy, you would cause that. So that would be really cool. And then I had told Dave, and Dave loved the idea. And so that was it. And before that, I started writing like death metal-y stuff while I was in a band called Autumn Rain, which was the precursor to Internal Bleeding.
That's very cool.
That's kind of the history.
I can totally dig it.
Yeah, I wish I remember the guy Dave, who I jammed with first. His last name, I just don't remember. I remember he had blonde hair and a mustache. That's all I remember.
How would you compare recent shows due to pre-COVID?
Okay, so we just did, like, in August, we did a full tour. We did a full US tour with Deicide. And that was the best tour I've ever been on. Every night was sold out. It was insane every night. It was just off the hook. And it was better than any pre-COVID shows we had played. So other than like festivals like Knotfest and things like that, I'm talking about shows or tours, the enthusiasm was out of control because everybody wanted to see live music. And I think that'll last for a little while until things die down. People are still excited. They've lived 2 years without live music. So I think all the shows are great now. All the shows we've been playing have been really good, packed houses, and I know that'll die down a little, but I'm trying to enjoy it while it's happening, But it's better than pre-COVID, for sure. I think people pre-COVID took advantage of the fact, and listen, that's what all human beings do. We all know it's there. It's always going to be there. So, I'm going to miss them. I won't see them tonight. I'll go see them the next time they come into town. Then COVID hits, and it's a year or a year and a half when people aren't allowed to go, and people go, oh my God, the next time this band ever comes around, I'm going, because I don't know if it will ever have concerts again. So there's that kind of desire to go out and see a live show now. And I hope that lasts forever, but it won't, because people get used to things again, and things will go back to normal, and attendance will probably go down, but hopefully not a lot.
At least we hope it doesn't.
Right. I hope it doesn't. I know our band personally grew during the COVID period with no shows because people were on the internet more, discovering bands and looking for bands and things like that. So there was some positives to it, but not playing a show for like 2 years was just terrible.
Yeah, I've been going on 13 years myself, just about.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah.
For not going to a show?
Well, not for going to a show, for doing a show.
Oh, for doing a show. Oh, yeah, that's a long time, man.
Yeah, because the last show I did was back in 09.
Oh,
That's
wow.
back when I had my death metal band called Obliterated Soul. And that was in New York. And now that I've got Viral Threat, we're just starting out, and we're in the process of writing music and lyrics.
Good. Awesome. So you'll be out soon.
Yep.
Yeah, good. Get a set list together, start jamming. It's a good thing.
Yeah. Once we start doing shows, we'll probably have to invite you on the bill sometime.
Well, that'd be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd also like to ask you, Chris, do you remember the first guitar you ever played?
Yes. The first guitar I ever played was in 7th grade, and I found it in, I guess you would something, what would I call it that everybody would understand what it is? I found it in a drainage ditch, which I call a sump. Okay, it was lying on the side of the hill on a sump. I saw a guitar, and so I climbed the fence and I grabbed this guitar, and it was a Hondo. That was the name of it, I think. And I didn't have an amplifier. I didn't know what I was doing, but I plugged it into the input of my reel-to-reel tape deck, and I managed to get sound out of it. And so that's really how I started playing guitar, was that guitar that I found. I always wanted to play guitar, but I guess that moment that I saw that guitar gave me the impetus to play it. And then I didn't play seriously until after high school. I didn't take it seriously. Once I got into college, I started taking guitar seriously.
That's really cool.
Well, that's funny. I can remember on that, with that stupid reel-to-reel tape deck, learning the 3 notes to the song Black Sabbath and playing it and thinking like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. It was so much fun and so exciting, So yeah, that's my first guitar.
For a beginner guitarist, what type of advice would you give them as they're just starting out?
One, you're gonna suck, and that's okay. I'm trying to think of all the things that made me want to quit playing guitar. So, one, you're gonna suck, and it's okay. 2, your fingers are gonna hurt if you practice, and that's okay. That'll go away. And 3, practice the fundamentals. get your eye and hand coordination. I find that for me, that's the key to unlocking so much stuff, is getting your eyes and hands coordinated, everything together, and start doing it slow, and then build up speed. You know, you can't just, if you dive into something at 1,000 miles an hour, you're probably going to end up, when you get older, hurt yourself, which I have, because you're not taking time to build your muscles and your tendons to get used to repetitive motions and things like that. And, you know, just start slow and work your way up. And the great thing about guitar is, like, you get over that first month or 2 months, you get past that 2 months, and then you start getting excited because you're like, hey, wait, I can play this. I can rip out a little guitar solo because I know the blues scale, you know, and you can put some notes together and things sound cool. And then it gives you drive to do more and more and more. So, you know, get over those first couple of months of learning and you'll love it for life. It's been a great thing for me. It's kept me out of trouble. It's kept me young. And it's a whole hell of a lot of fun.
There's a lot,
you know, and it keeps your, I hate to sound like an old man, but I'm an old man, but it keeps your brain active too. You know, you have to, your hands and you have to coordinate with your eyes and your brain, and, you know, and as you get older, sometimes that slows down, but this helps prevent it from slowing down, because your mind is, you know, it's not just your hands that are engaged, your whole mind is engaged when you're playing, and that's has a lot of positive mental benefits. So
that's really cool. I always
those are my thoughts anyway, you know.
I've always told people you're only as old as you feel.
Yeah, that's true. And when I get off tour, I feel like I'm 90. So
that's like
hurts.
me almost every day getting out of bed. I'm just like, I just want to stay in bed.
Oh yeah, who doesn't, right?
I'll take my antidepressant, I'll drink my soda, drink my coffee, whatever I got next to me, and I'll be like, okay, it's go time.
There you go. I don't linger in bed. I get up and I start going, because if I don't, I just won't go. So I like to get up and get going, you know. I'll get up, I'll have a cup of coffee, take care of the kids a little bit. The minute they go to school, I go to the gym, I come back, start my, you know, pick up my work day. Usually when I get up, I start working, doing my business work, answering emails and stuff like that while I'm having my coffee. And then, you know, after they go, and then I just go all day until it's time to hang out with my wife and watch something on TV and relax and have dinner and have a drink. You know, it's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, hold on one quick second. I gotta turn my light on. It's getting dark here.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
Oh, much better.
Yeah,
I just noticed you're wearing a profanity shirt. That's awesome. They're all.
Oh yeah, this is from Fragments of Solace, their last album that they came out with back in 2020.
Yeah, it's a great album.
It's amazingly bruising.
Yep.
Now, my next question for you, Chris, is for the video Overthrow Creation, how long did it take you guys to make that video?
Well, we had the footage already. That was from a concert in Japan. So we had the footage already. And we gave it to our friend and said, edit it. So that footage is not us doing Overthrow Creation, because that footage is from Japan when we didn't even have that song written. So we gave it to our friend and said, edit this together to look like we're playing Overthrow Creation and make it look cool. And we're going to make a video out of it. So I think he got it done in like a week. Which is really cool, considering we made something really cool out of found footage, you know. Wasn't found footage, it was footage we already had. And it was a great concert that we played in Japan. And what better way to show off our live energy than show a lot of really cool concert footage. So that's the route we went. I mean, we're a live band. We've always been a live band. And so that's why we decided it's got to be something like with a live feel and things like that.
How would you compare the crowd differences between Asian and plus United States?
Well, you know what? That's kind of hard to judge, and I'll tell you why it's hard to judge. Like when we went to Japan, those kids had never seen those. They know who we were, but they never saw us. So the excitement level was, off the charts. You can't compare that to somebody who maybe loves our band but has seen us 20 times. They're just not going to be as excited as somebody who's seeing his favorite band for the first time ever, and that they've come over from another country and all that. So it's kind of hard to compare, and I don't want to slight American fans, and because they're great, but the level of enthusiasm when we were in Japan was just completely ridiculous. Same with Indonesia. When we played in Indonesia, the level of enthusiasm was through the roof. Who knows if we're ever going to get there again? I mean, so everybody knew that it was extra special. So that's why I say it's tough to make a comparison.
I can understand that.
I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to slight like American fans or hometown fans who are great. I mean, the Deicide tour, people were killing each other and going freaking nuts, But in Japan, it was like, and in Indonesia, it was like just a completely different level.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. It was great. One of the best experiences of my life.
That's very cool.
Yeah. This stupid music has taken me all over the world. It's pretty, when you sit back, when you sit back and you think about it, it's pretty fucking cool.
Absolutely.
When I was a little kid, I used to dream of being in a band and playing on a stage, and here I am doing it and getting to see the world and meeting unbelievably fantastic people everywhere, and indulging in different cultures. And I mean, it's just mind blowing, and it's so cool. I mean, I go to a foreign country and I just absorb the culture. That's what I do. I watch people talk. I watch how they relate to each other. I analyze it and see how they're different than Americans and this and that. And it's just, I don't know. It's just so cool.
I really like that answer. That's awesome.
Thanks. It's from the heart, man. That's how I feel.
Hey, that's the best part of the body right there is the heart.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
What would you say is your favorite album by Internal Bleeding and why?
Wow. Oh, man. Everybody asks me this and I can never give a good answer, because there's different things I like about every album. But to say our most recent album, Corrupting Influence, that would be, I'm going to put that aside because every band says that their current album is their favorite. And I would probably say that too. But if I had to pick one, taking our latest album out of the mix, I would say our first album, Voracious Contempt. So just because it was the music was really fresh. Nobody was copying our sound or anything like that. And we were all young and excited and wow, we're on a record label and blah, 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 blah. So like you can't recreate, by the time we got to like the fourth album or whatever, you're like, yeah, we got to put out an album. Oh, yeah. But, that first album, everybody's excited to do it. And, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe doing it. This is such a huge milestone. So I guess from an emotional standpoint and partially not so much from a musical standpoint, that's my favorite album. From a musical standpoint, Corrupting Influence is definitely my favorite album, but from an emotional standpoint, definitely Voracious Contempt.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. We had a good time recording that album, and we had a lot of fun recording it. And everybody we were all really supportive of each other. And it was a different time. It was when you recorded an album, you had to play it. Everybody played. That album was completely live. It was the band playing live, and then you do overdubs with your guitars. You do punch-ins with your guitars. and stuff if you made a mistake. And if the drummer fucked up, you'd have to start the song over and do it again. So there's mistakes in it, and that's okay. It was recorded live. We were tight. We played well. We had to do some overdubs, but it was 5 guys going balls out jamming. So it was a good, like I said, from an emotional standpoint, it was pretty freaking awesome.
I see that you guys are on Unique Leader Records.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it at one time that you guys were also with Metal Blade?
No.
Okay, I wasn't really sure.
No, that's okay. Metal Blade rejected us in like 1992. I think I sent them the demo, and they didn't like it, so they can go to hell.
Okay, I wasn't really sure because
no, that's all right, bro. You can't know everything.
Yeah, that's true. Nobody knows everything.
Yeah, don't be hard on
We're
yourself.
not God.
No, exactly. It's God's job to know everything, not mine.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, out of all the songs you guys have written, which one would you say is your most?
Me what.
No, which one would you say is your most technical?
Oh, I never thought of that. That's a good question. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I think probably, I mean, we're not really a technical band, but I think probably either Driven to Conquer or Falling Down from our Driven to Conquer album. I think those are two of the most technical songs that we have, and they're not that technical. They're just played with a lot of speed, and there's a lot of notey stuff in there that is tricky to play. So I would say either one of those. I'm not sure which one, because I never really gave that question any thought. But I can tell you it's something off the Driven to Conquer album, because that's definitely our most technical album. So
back to when you're on tour, when you guys have a day off from tour, what do you usually like to do in your free time?
Find local food. That's our big thing. So Chris McCarthy, the other guitarist in the band, is a big foodie. He loves food. And if we have a day off, he's on the internet and he's finding the food, whatever it is that everybody's talking about. And I'm not talking about like fancy restaurant. I'm talking like, street food or hole in the wall restaurant. He'll research that, and we'll make it a point on our day off to go there and eat and drink and have a good time. And then, once we get back in the van or whatever, we review it after we eat. Usually we're all sitting around full and very satisfied. So that's any day off where we're not driving. That's what we do, is find a place to eat, like a good place, and really just spend all our money on food. That's our thing. Food's a big thing with us. Like every city we go to, we try to find like the most off the wall place. When we're in California, we try to find the best taco truck. That's who we are.
Has there ever been a time when you're at a restaurant and one of your fans has recognized you?
A couple of times we've had actually a couple of like Denny's. We've had like the waitress recognize us and ask for autographs and stuff like that. So that's pretty wild. It's weird, but it's cool. It's just a little weird. It's like one girl was like completely like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it!" Blah blah. She was all giddy and laughing the whole time. It was really good. And we gave her a T-shirt and all that stuff, because we just thought she was so sweet and so cool. So I love when that happens. It doesn't happen all the time, but I do love when it happens. It happens to me locally. you know, a lot. Like not a lot, but I'll go out to dinner with my family and somebody in a restaurant will see me and want to talk to me or something like that. Or if I go to Dunkin' Donuts, somebody who's working behind the counter wants to take a picture with me and stuff. It's pretty cool, you know.
That is
I
cool.
have to admit it's pretty cool, you know. It's weird, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you guys have Dunkin'
You know,
Donuts.
meanwhile, my kids think I'm an idiot, you know.
Well, how do they feel about you being in a death metal band? Do they like it themselves, or?
A little bit, not a lot. Um, they know I'm in a band. I don't know how much they talk to their friends about it, you know, but you know, they know they know that I have like this other life, you know, where I'm a rock star, you know, which is pretty cool, you know, but you know, they're like, you know, they just complain about me all the time because I'm their dad. So
Well, you know what they say, father knows best, right?
right. You know, but that's how it should be. Kids should always be complaining about their dads, right? Or their moms and dads. I mean, I guess that's the way it is, you know?
Yeah. I think about my father every day. He passed away back in 2019.
Oh, I think my father passed in 2020. So I can feel your pain. I think about my dad all the time too. My dad was a funny fucking man. Oh my God, was he a funny man?
Yeah,
I
my
don't
dad.
know if I don't know if he'd like to be alive today with all the censorship that's going on and all the people getting upset about speech and all that stuff. Because my dad was very off color in his humor, and you know, he was dirty, and he was just a really funny guy. You know, he laughed at everything. My father's excuse me, I'm getting a drink. My father's motto was, you know, laugh all the time. Life's too short to be mad. Just laugh at everything. And that's what he did. He laughed at everything. He made fun of everything. I mean, you know, he was in the hospital dying and he was making fun of himself, you know. I mean, that's just the kind of person he was, which I'm like that too. I make fun of everything and I belittle everything and I make jokes about everything. And that's how I deal with life. And I think if more people learn to laugh at everything, especially themselves, I laugh at myself all the time. I mean, you know, I think the whole world would be better off if we all learned to laugh at ourselves, especially ourselves. You know, I mean, I don't think most people could last 5 minutes in my band the way we beat on each other. You know, we're New Yorkers, we're rough and we're crude. And if one of us, God forbid, makes a mistake, you know, you get pounced on, you know, but it's all in good fun. Everybody laughs, and that's what you gotta fucking laugh, man. If you don't laugh, you know, it's like, go walk off a cliff or something. You got to laugh. Life, you know, seriously, we were given the gift of laughter, and more people should use it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
instead of being uptight.
Speaking of New York, I'm from around Binghamton area.
Okay.
If you know where that's at. 6
Yeah, how much? Yeah, I do.
How
How much snow do you have up there right now?
Well, I'm not there currently. My mom and my brother, they live up there. But I'm here in Georgia.
Okay, our vocalist is in Georgia.
Yeah, I live here in Macon.
Oh, in Macon. Okay, cool.
Yeah, little Chicago.
Oh, so what's a New York boy doing south of the Mason-Dixon line?
Well, long story short, I fell in love with a woman and I couldn't be any happier.
Okay, good for you. Good for you. That's awesome.
Yes, sir. Her kids love me to death, so I'm
You
just
like living.
What's that?
Good. I said, do you like living in Georgia?
I'm loving it here. I'm never bored. I always find something to do.
Oh, good. Good. And it's a lot less, you know, it's a lot less hectic than New York is. So like I love the South. Like I like the laid back lifestyle and stuff like that, you know. And I love this. I love Southern cooking.
Oh, yeah, the food's always
So
good.
every time we go down, oh yeah, every time we go down south, man, we're always seeking out, you know, barbecue and everything, you know, everything we can. That's Southern fried chicken, you know, all that good stuff.
Yeah, before I
Except
moved
grits. I
here-
don't like grits.
yeah, I'm not too big on grits either.
Yeah, grits are
I'll eat
boring.
oatmeal, but grits, well, it depends on how they're made, I guess.
Okay, I'm not a grit expert. I've had them and I don't like them.
I'll eat collard
I
greens.
just rather melt butter and drink the butter, you know, than
You have
grits.
a lot of excessive gas after that, Chris.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
You'd be blowing your band members off stage, like, okay,
Uh,
wait, where'd the vocalists go?
yeah, we do that already. So
That's pretty funny. Which brings me to my next question. Have you ever had any moments while you're on stage or while on tour that you would consider either embarrassing or life-threatening?
well, I've had embarrassing moments. Life-threatening. There's been some shows that have gotten so out of control that I was scared that I was going to get hit with a chair or something like that. But that's not really life-threatening. But there's a couple of embarrassing moments. We played one show and I had food poisoning,
Ooh,
and yeah, it was not good. I was really sick when we were playing, and I had like horrible stomach cramps, and I'm playing, and I had to run to behind my cabinet to throw up every 5 seconds. I swear to God, it was terrible. I was like, I played the whole show cramped up. You know, that was bad. That was, fortunately, this was in the beginning of our career, so the show wasn't that packed. So, you know, whatever. And then we played a show in Italy and I broke my foot. And I had to play the whole show with a broken foot. And that was pretty embarrassing because I was literally like, you know, hopping around the stage because I only had one foot to work with. So that was pretty embarrassing too. So, but yeah, that's it for embarrassing. I'm usually never embarrassed. And like I said, life-threatening, no. I mean, other than getting hit with afraid to be hit with a flying chair, you know, that's it.
what would you say is your favorite thing about being a musician?
The travel. I mean, other than I put aside the creativity and all that stuff, but it's the travel. It's getting in the van or the bus with the guys and getting out on the road and seeing the world and meeting new people and really just absorbing everything. I think that's just it's one of the things I think. I think I think after a while, a lot of musicians take advantage of it and hate it, you know, but I don't. I love, to me, that's my biggest thrill is the travel, the banter that goes on in the bus or the van with all of us, you know, the humor and the laughter. And I mean, we laugh from beginning to end. It's just nonstop laughter. You know, we make fun of everything and everyone and ourselves, and we just laugh for thousands of miles, you know, and then go eat good food and meet good people and play good shows. I mean, how could one not like that? You know, how could one not be in love with something like that, with an experience like that? That's, to me, that's the best part of being a musician, beside being lucky enough to write music and have somebody pay to put it out, you know?
Well, we were talking about jokes a little while ago, and I remember that I came up with one a few years back, and it goes like this. You know why guitarists make great lovers?
Why?
They enjoy plucking G strings.
Oh, God. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah,
Or they like breaking G strings, either one.
yeah, either way.
That's a good one. Oh man, I like that one. All right, I'm down with that. Good one.
You can always put that in your memory bank so you could quote me for later if you'd like to.
Yes, I'll have to throw that out in the van at like 3 o'clock in the morning when everybody's drunk.
They'll probably be like, huh? Think about it for a little while, and then they'll probably be like, oh yeah.
And then they'll laugh. And then they'll laugh. Right. Exactly.
Exactly.
That's the spirit. Awesome, man.
Well, I can't think of anything else to ask you, Chris. Do you have any last words for Underground Noise?
All right, brother. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk to me. I really appreciate that. And it was great talking to you. I enjoyed our conversation quite a bit. And if any fans are watching, either new or old time, thank you for supporting IB. And I hope we get to see you guys soon, man. Check out our website, internal-bleeding.com. Like us on Facebook, like us on Instagram, you know, all that stuff. And that's it. Peace.
Rock and roll. Actually, it's
Thank
death metal.
Yeah, that's right. So there you go. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, Chris. Thank you for your time too.
You're welcome. Make sure you give me links and stuff when it's done. All right. And it's up.
Absolutely.
Okay. Sounds good, brother.